not done. I think that's why we were here. When Bill Gates reaches the office right now when we all go to our office, Bill Gates is not looking at what Microsoft has done excellently. He's looking at he's troubleshooting for what Microsoft is not doing well. And why are the markets, you have seen what what has been happening, those who are gathering in the international political economy, what has been happening on Wall Street and so on. So Bill Gates will be wanting to know what is the market, why is it volatile, what is the Microsoft shooting, nose diving. He's not bothered about things which are going well. So let's copy the same thing. That's why we shall be here. And then we shall see what are the challenges that you are facing as an industry. And I think by the end of the day, as we all go to our office and we are here for only 1 hour, what can be done as a strategy, and Fireworks is here. That's why they are here with us to engage the stakeholders, big ones, Bank of Uganda, National Consumer Security Fund, the insurers, insured, other stakeholders, the training, so that we can have uptake of the insurance to some good level. Uptake of the insurance is very low. In case I don't have sufficient time. Penetration of insurance. Penetration is the contribution of the insurance sector to GDP. Our GDP currently is $54 billion US. That's why we want to stay. The strategy we have as a country is that we want to get this GDP $54 billion times 10 in these 15 years, and we have 500. The only two countries which have GDP over 500 is Nigeria, and of course South Africa, 487. We are moving toward 500. So we want to be like Nigeria and South Africa. And that's why you can have business. That's why insurance uptake is very small. The country is small, GDP is small, people want business are few, so there's no way you can have uptake when people are not doing business. So you need to support the government to ensure that as a sector, we are driving the economy to ensure that you can have many people in the economic activity. And when we talk about PDM, for example, you should be the ones who are taking the message. Your role is to ensure that we are transacting, people are transacting. If there is no transaction, then it becomes very difficult for people to be insurance. Then we shall have a combination of the field. So we are going to run it very quickly now. The problem is that insurance, which was introduced in 1948, has grown, but not at the rate which we would have wanted. It is still very low. That's the problem. The problem with the elephant in this room is that people up to now have not taken up insurance to the level which is required. To the standard level, even to African standards. Even the East African standards is low, our uptake is low. That's the problem. 2%. Penetration is than 1%. Let me repeat penetration again. Those of us who have in economics classes is that the contribution of Uganda's GDP is from a number of areas: industry, services, and agriculture. And services is 43.3% of GDP. That's where Uganda's richness is coming from. It is from services. 43.3% of Uganda, $54 billion, which I talked about. But now, can you imagine where the contradiction is that this 43.3 of the 54 billion is not coming from insurance. It's coming from banking. It's also coming from telephones. And I'm sure everybody has sent a WhatsApp message this morning. But how many people have applied for insurance policy? That's what you should be measuring yourself. And somebody, I'm sure, must have been at an ATM for the bank. But how many people have applied for insurance policy right now? So the Uganda's GDP, Uganda in Uganda, Buvawa, it is coming from services, but it's ironical. It's a paradox that insurance industry is not part of those services. Can you imagine? And yet it is the services where we are getting the 43 point. You move towards half of the entire sector. The current status is that the survey which we conducted said that there are many gaps in insurance, limited knowledge, mistrust. Can you imagine? Conduct a business and people are not trusting us is very, very bad. This is not good news. This is good. And then you have high cost.
Check.
Thank you. Cost of insurance is high. I think you need to take note of that. That's what people are saying. Cost is high, and they are saying apart from the cost being high, also the micro products, which I'm sure before, because we will have the time, we must let me say it now, is that Kenya has succeeded. Kenya is driving this process, as you all know. Kenya has been driving the financial sector in many areas. You look at PESA, they also have micro insurance. And people, you find that if we are having these cars and I pay 20 million per year, in Kenya you don't do that. The 20 million can be divided over 12 months, 20 divided by 12, somebody is paying 1.6 million. What's wrong with that? What's really wrong with that? But if you want me to pay the 20 million at the goal, it is a problem. Please operate in an economy which you understand. Don't operate in an economy as if you are coming from Mars and yet you are operating in an economy with us here. So Kenya's uptake is high, and don't ask. And the reason is that Kenya is also very high in the national health insurance. National health insurance is also micro in Kenya. They are broken down into smaller products, and they have liaised with the telecom companies, Safaricom, or the equivalent of MTN here, to ensure that they work with it, to ensure that people can also pay it on mobile money in small amounts. And the uptake is very, very high. You Google it, and you see the uptake in Kenya. Then a narrow range of products, which we all know that the products are still low. The highest, of course, the highest segment is in health insurance. But you have not succeeded. You should be the ones driving the process of ensuring that this national insurance bill comes for second reading and it is debated and passed. But now you have been a bit quiet. We are struggling, I've been struggling with Dr. Jotham, seeing the national medical stores, and I've been actually doing your work, most of it, to ensure that it comes for second. It came for first reading. The president didn't support it for obvious reasons. And the reason was, if we remove 5% from NSSF, 10%, the employers contribute 10%, we deduct 5%, then we add another 4% for the health insurance, then how much the president is right. The employer is going to be overburdened. But you should have said, come here, come on. Everybody should pay. That is being done in Uganda. Rwanda is going to 20%. 20% Rwanda health insurance. It has a coverage more than the national health insurance in London, UK. Because I've been a part of, especially the UK one. I know people live in the UK, I know I worked in the UK, I know how it works. And people say it's supported under the NHS. In Rwanda, everybody pays. But here you want this national health insurance paid also for us on a wide informal. And it cannot work. The president is right. You cannot overburden people in the formal sector, then the informal ones who are 80% of the Ugandans being out, and then they are the ones who need the services. For us, sometimes who are in this room, you may not even need services for formal health services here. You want to get, you have your money, you can go to London, you can go to the US and Canada and get your services. These are the people we are talking about, are the Ugandans who are less privileged. And you may not manage the health services that you can manage. So why can't you? And there's a lot of money there. You can't imagine the amount of money there. So why can't you help us in that range of products? Then you have misconception. of the relevance of insurance. People don't understand insurance very well. People don't absolutely understand it. That's why you have a lot of work after here. After we are finished, people think that insurance is the same as banking. When you put your money 10 million in Stanbic and you never withdraw that money, people also think that when you insure and you don't have any, you suffer any risk, that your money is there, that's what they know. Can you imagine up to this time? You are being indicted. This is an indictment of the industry. You are being indicted of the industry. People think that now my money is there. The premium which I paid. Can you imagine? The person doesn't know that now tell somebody in Arua. If you are from Kavala, if you are from here in Kampala, tell somebody in Bali. That's when people should have understood it very, very well if you want the industry to work. Then low collaboration with commercial banks, but now you have, I'm happy here now you have started this bank assurance. Many banks are now adopting this process. We need more collaboration, especially with the banking industry and the insurance industry, to teach people together. For us in the central bank, we have really started town hall meetings. I have supported the mandate of financial. I've told you on my desk is financial, is the price stability, soundness, the financial system. But we have added and have supported in support of socio-economic transformation. Somebody will talk about the book I've written, Economic Transformation. So we cannot allow the central bank to remain in the vein of price stability, soundness of the financial system. How about soundness of the financial system? Price stability, where are they operating? Are they operating in an environment that need financial inclusion? Many people are outside that needs ESG. People are depleting the environment. Where are you? I said you cannot remain in air-conditioned offices. We are now getting out as a central bank, you can imagine, in town hall explaining what we are doing. Then how about you? Who are you now for you just to remain seated in the... Get out, explain what is happening and collaborate with the banking sector. Things can even be cheaper. Areas of inquiry for the survey, knowledge and understanding of the concept of insurance and the products that you offer, you need to work out that and engage properly. Then access to formal and also informal insurance, perception about insurance, experience regarding the process of how you work out, views on insurance, and then the other issues as you are seeing them. Let me run very quickly. Insurance is for the rich. The people who are Rotarians here, people say the Rotarians, we are the rich. For the rich, we are also struggling. Premiums are lost money. You can imagine what people are seeing. You don't know that to help someone, process of claiming. I want to congratulate the regulator. The regulator has done very well in this. I think that the people now, the confidence is now high. I think for the fact really, we need to congratulate the regulator. The regulator has tried to ensure that the process of identifying people is now more smooth, and it is for the fact that the study found more people are developing more confidence in insurance. There are only a smaller population which is still not knowing exactly what insurance is about, but those who have insurance policies know and take back the right information. So I think that's the very soft ground you need to. Mistrust is still there, but this is everywhere in society. Unless people understand the concept very well, and then mode of payment. Let's work on mode of payment. Make it much easier You have seen what Uganda Immigration Services Bureau has done. What people in the passport office have done. The best one is in Uganda now is the driving permit. These are all international best practices. The way the things we have been talking about, what happens in Malaysia, what happens in South Korea. We also have in things which we have said what happens in Uganda. This is very, very good. You go to see how long it is now in the minutes, registration of business. We will have to congratulate Uganda registration of business, URSD. Uganda Registration Services Bureau has done extremely well. Why don't you do the same thing? That when I come, process my claim, just do it. Then you don't need advertisement. So I think we're almost finishing. Full payment upfront is a problem. That's what you have said. Just copy what Kenyans are doing. What insurers have not done. If you are an insurer here in this room, what have you not done? You have not educated the people in your industry. Imagine you are in industry, you come open your shop and you don't tell people what, even the people in the window, even the people who are driving taxis. That's what you're saying, the Kawempe Makando Kakoma, guys are Kawempe Makando, they are telling people in the car. The state is where the car is. Boy, in economics, the person who is saying, guys, Kawempe Makando Kagoma. Those who are not Ugandans, these are the stages of the taxi when you are going to Kampala northwards. In terms of GDP, if this person didn't come, we don't lose anything. It's called disguised employment. That person is disguised employed. But it's adding artificial value. This is adding artificial value. We don't capture it very much. It doesn't help us very much in terms of increasing the GDP. If you didn't come that day, we don't lose anything. But you need to educate people. If those are doing that, then how about you? How about you people in the window market down there? You go there and see how you are seeing the clothes, the shoes. He's selling your I'm selling the shoes, I'm selling these clothes here. You don't need to be quiet and assume that everybody will know what you are doing and the importance of the insurance industry. But talk about the benefits. The operational projects have been too profit-oriented. Of course, commercial banks also profit-oriented. There's no commercial bank here which is your uncle or your auntie. It didn't come here as your auntie or your uncle. But the commercial banks, let me really bring here, these are not your co-wives, but let me not bring here what in Uganda they call a co-wife. But commercial banks have done extremely well, you know it. The regulator, I shouldn't be able to say that, but I think they have done relatively well. If I'm going to the bank, if a person is going to the bank, he or she knows what to expect. This one you for sure you know. They know what to expect. And the commercial banks have done very well. They are very, very highly profitable. You don't want to receive their statements in the financial statements in the newspapers. They are doing extremely well. I wish the insurance industry could copy a few of the tips that these commercial banks are doing. And what are the tips of commercial banks used to be able to be as profitable as we are seeing? DFCU, 96 billion after tax. Stanbic, 1.2 trillion. 478 billion to URA. Is over 700 billion tax after. What have they done? They have created agency banking, they have created mobile banking, internet banking, financial inclusion. The bank population has been 8% about 5 years ago. Now it is over 70%. People coming into the banking. Why should they not be profitable up to that level? Do you need to ask such naive questions? They have got these profits because they have not been seated. They have been going. Barclays Bank, this officer here, which was Barclays Bank, do you know it used to be like in heaven? You would think the bank operates in heaven. But now they are in garages, you go to change it up. You find it in the garage, it is there. Stanbic Bank was, in Kabari, we used to have it as Glinda's Bank. At Project 45 in the central bank, that's where we have our bank supervision. Actually, that's where our supervision department is. That's why the banking. That place where our central bank supervision is, where you are going to High Court. That's the right. Is that the operations, you make sure that you have to reach out. You have to reach out to the people. Where would you get bankers at that time? Only one branch, they are somewhere there, they are operating up to midday, they are already closed. But now they put products which make it very convenient for people to take over their services. That's why they are making the money they are making. Then you have innovations. Those who have studied economics, let's go to economics class very seriously. They are creating demand. There are two types of economics. We have got what we call Keynesian economics. Keynesianism, which is Keynesianism, you don't wait for people to come to your shop to buy commodities. You create demand. You create a situation in which these people will come to your shop to buy the commodities that you have. This is the Keynesian school. Then there is a liberal school, Oxford school. Oxbridge School, where now people go out to wait, sit, and people will come, I will put my prices, you have bread, people will come and buy the bread, when I put prices down. You put prices down, people will not come. You must create a situation in which people can come. So we need to run your industry on Keynesian economics, not the liberal one of Oxford, which I see most of you using. Marketing issues, selling of insurance, and this is very, this is also not good. Then using unqualified agents, and of course, sensitizing the public about the complaints. The issue of agents is very important because the way insurance sector operates, you operate through agents. And it's important that these agents exactly know the insurance. People are smart, they are looking very well, not using dilapidated people, and somebody does not eat inside, didn't eat supper, he's sweating everywhere, and the person is saying now you are full of time, people are looking like that. Then how do I perceive like the services you are saying is going to help anyone? You need to take a British policeman. You know what you meet a policeman in London. You want to be a policeman. The way he's dressed, smart, never blue shirt, never blue royal blue shirt, never blue trousers, one guy is you want to be there, how can I be a British police or a police officer? You need to look like a British police officer. Then you can have your apparent government also. We have challenges. This is the last one. Then we go. The first one is the one of your major challenges is the lack of government. Lack of what we found is lack of government participation as insurance. Because you see here, what government does is also what people do. The governments normally in Africa are very powerful. And I know that when our cars are not insured, government cars are not insured, most of them. And it is the government which owns most of these top range cars, which should have paid you more money. And also some other assets, houses, and so on. They will recognize you as challenge there. And also you are the ones now to drive this process to ensure government insures. Then the insurance companies in Uganda are purely private, and therefore would have wanted more participation of other companies. Then culture has also been fighting you. Because this one I see it. in many villages in Uganda, people think that why should I go for insurance? My brother, there's a big brother, there's a big sister who is supposed to look after us. He's working in Kampala and get a big job. So why are we bothered? Unless that also mindset is fault. Insurance cannot come. Then there is religion, also which has come in, God will provide. If bad is which the Bible says if bad is which are just in the air can survive, how can I feel survive? That's what the Bible says. And people take it very seriously. And we have been growing up in the church. The church in Uganda is 90.8%. So you need to go out. Listen how you need to go out. You need to go out. Then imagine some community-based social safety nets. This also they are fighting you. And you must be on top of things if you want to be that. Next steps, it's recommendations. So this was the last one. Sensitization. You must embark on educating people on how you are going to do it. And the Uganda Insurance Association is there. Use it, and also other stakeholders who are with the people. Especially the churches, if you can involve the church. The church has that, that has outreach capacity to reach everywhere. You tell the Archbishop, people should not think that their brothers are going to provide their services for their children. If you talk in terms of international macro economic analysis, that's why you remain poor. That's why African countries remain poor. Continue thinking that you're going to continue living on the savings of others. How can you continue living on the savings of others? How can you continue thinking that President Trump is going to continue paying your health services? Can you imagine this? A whole country that when your people are sick, you are going to get money from USAID. USAID is no more. We shall see. It was abolished last Sunday. You will never hear about the word USAID. You can get it from me. It was abolished on Sunday, last Sunday at 10. And we shall see if you are desperate to USAID. Tell people let me tell you the major reason why Africa remains behind. Is failure to take responsibility for your actions. This is the only difference between us and other developed countries. Failure to take responsibility for your own actions. People who have developed take responsibility for their own actions. For these children, somebody is going to look after them. Can you imagine? When we talk about development, which development are you going to have? You are going to Kampala from Kabale or from Arua, you want lift. Especially ladies, you get anything you see. You tell me why you will end. There's no free lift. There's never been a free one. Lift, never. You will pay for it. You better pay for it. Sensitize the population on the need for saving and risk management. You need to manage risk. That's why insurance is there. For health insurance, for the motor vehicles, for your house you have been rich, now you are poor. Tell people that risk is very, very dangerous. People take risk lightly. That's why we don't have businesses here. When foreign direct investment is coming to countries, it is looking at two things, risk and market. If one Dangote want to bring cement factory here instead of Addis in Ethiopia, he's looking at two things. Number one, with the risk, is Uganda stable? Two, how many people will buy a bag of cement? And of course, the other accelerators, the one we call accelerators, their energy, their electricity, how cheap is it relative to, how is the Karuma Dam cheap relative to the nicest dam in the United States? So after solving that, Dangote will decide where to put the factory. Then you have, this is what? The deliberate effort interventions preferable by government. Here you need to engage government on two fronts. One is that if national health insurance scheme passes, then you guys will be in business. But now I see you a little bit quiet. I don't know what is happening, but you are leaving us fight it for you. And our voice is very small. It is not, you can imagine our voice is not as huge. We have a very serious voice as an industry. So engage Parliament to make sure it comes for second reading. Then it is debated. It cannot be debated unless it comes for second reading. Until you go in business, you are telling you come here and tell me 2 years once this thing passes. Why? Everybody will be forced to come to insurance. Secondly, people will realize the importance of insurance. Secondly, it is a business. There's a lot of money there. In Rwanda, they are paying. 𝐂𝐃𝐈𝐓𝐈𝐍𝐵, Rwanda has provinces, it's just like South Sudan. So 𝐂𝐃𝐈𝐓𝐈𝐍𝐵, which is the province that is the equivalent of this Kampala, the one you call Kampala Metropolitan, they are paying 5,000 times 4, because each franc is 4 shillings. Then the other areas, Rushachi, Chitama, Chikongoro, those who are paying 2,000, which is 8,000 only. And yet, in 2017, it's one of the best health insurance. In fact, when you go in Rwanda, when you go for the IHKs, one the IHKs of this one, is now the other way around. That would be now the government service. And now the other ones will be private. The normal health, the services you get from health centers. Why is that so? These facilities benefit from mutual santé, the community health insurance. They contribute the money, which is now a very big basket, a lot of money, and then insurance companies they manage it, and the people go for services, and the money remains. The money remains, meaning it is really much money. So you need to ensure that every Ugandan is in that system. Insurance must clean up your house. Just clean up your house. How do you do it? If I bring my check to the FCU bank, how many minutes do I take to cash my check? This is what the client wants. And the banks are now even digitized it. You just come, you don't even talk to anybody. I think you have realized that. Go there, and by biometrics, just put in the machine, it gives you the voucher, you wait, counter number 3, in 30 seconds, away. Can't go this as a client one. 30 seconds, you want. In 30 seconds, you are doing conducting a business. Internet banking, and so on. But now to come, do I have a policy? It will take 6 months. I want to congratulate the regulator. I have a double cabinet, Hilux. It had a problem with the glass. The insurance companies really came and put the glass at home. Very big round of applause. They came at home in the bottom. I thought they just the river told me the glass, I put the glass back. But before you would say, why was driving this vehicle? Where was the body coming, in which direction? Where was the body coming? But I want to report to you, sir. I thought the glass is good. You didn't ask any question. And now that is enough advice. That's enough advice for you. That's enough advice. I will tell people insurance companies these days are working. You don't need to have a problem. And they continue doing my work. You didn't even suffer taking the car to get the glass of I don't know where. And so this is what people want. As simple as that. And we're finishing. I think we are finishing. I'm sure this should be the last one. Strengthen customer care service. Consider self-splitting insurance. This one we have agreed. I think we just agree here. I'm not going to leave this room unless we have agreed that instead of the 20 million I'm paying on this car, divide it into what's wrong with dividing it into. Let's agree with this one. So people really, instead of paying up front, let people pay in installments. This one has been agreed. We brought the government for support. That's what I've said. Develop we are going to develop the agenda with Raymond here. The stakeholder engagement is going to work. Then you deploy communication strategy. That's what I'm actually saying here, including parliament, including government, including the community, including the banks, central bank, national security fund, industries, manufacturers, everyone. And then you draft the strategy, this is going to be done, running on. Then you monitor and evaluate what the strategy is doing, and then we see whether the insurance association and the regulator, we want the regulator also to sleep and do other things, not to every time having headache from you guys as a sector. So this is what we have been able to do. I want to thank my boss, who is not people need to stand for recognition, Jonathan. These are the ones who gave me the job. These are the ones who gave me the job, but I'm your boss now also. So these are musical chairs, French musical chairs. So I want to thank you so much, and I also want to thank you as a sector. I think this country is supposed to move. This country moves on your shoulders. This country cannot move. The economy cannot move unless the financial sector is working. And let me repeat this as I sit down. The Uganda's GDP, which is the gross domestic product that comes from consumption, comes from investment, comes from export, capital X, comes from imports, minus capital M, and I know you know the reason why it is negative, currently at 6.1 billion, plus government expenditure G, and the book which I have been told I've subtracted E. I've changed the teaching of economics globally because of the ESG issues, carbon sequestration and carbon cost. And I'm proceeding to Davos. I'm on Davos agenda. I'm also one of the key speakers there in Geneva. I'm going to explain why we need to remove the current calculation of GDP to discount now in the next year. You are the ones who are contributing to this equation, equivalent $54 billion every year. We don't want you to contribute less than 1% of this equation. C plus I plus X minus M plus G, now minus E. From the professor. The professor has the right of discussing any statement or any equation and add something. Not you. You have to be a professor first. You have to be a professor first. And then we shall come here and listen to you, what you are saying. So we are saying, please, we don't want you to remain at the penetration of less than 1. For me, that's what Professor said this morning. Insurance, as an industry, cannot be allowed, and it is not very good news to have a penetration of less than 1%. In the English language, it is not good for the insurance sector to contribute to less than 1% of the gross domestic product of 54 billion. It is very small. Commercial banks, tourism, even borders, if you get borders, tourism, telephones, the contribution there is towards 50. To be very specific, it is 43.3%. Some US means really the less than 1. How will you go to how do you come to Serena here for Christmas party and you say we are in the same sector? Do you see what I mean? Meaning you cannot do that. You cannot allow yourself to continue being so small like that. You also want to say we are big boys and girls in this financial. So it's a sector. Tourism is bringing here 1.7 billion. The house girls, these house girls who are in Jordan, Oman, they are bringing here $900 million. Then the doctors who are in Detroit, I was in Texas the other day, in Houston, they bring here $700 million. You can imagine the house girls beat the doctors and engineers that we have in America. They bring $700 million. These girls you are calling house girls bring $900 million. That's 1.6. Tourism brings 1.7. Add 1.7 to 1.6, 3.3 over 54, 9.7% of GDP. And these house girls also need to feed you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Professor Nwagaba. Professor Nwagaba was my teacher. You can also see some traits in me. He's having a 𝐂𝐄𝐎'𝐒. That's a professorial habit. Thank you very much, Prof, for a job well done. I think one of the questions you have raised, which everyone is pondering on, is can you imagine? He has pushed us to imagination. So when you go back, take some few moments and imagine. A lot has been said. I want to allow 7 minutes for questions or feedback, Professor. I know this is a lecture I should have given in 3 hours or so, but he's managed to deliver it in 40 minutes. Because that's the time we have, and we are also aware that you have to go back and imagine and make things better. What has given me hope is that his conclusion points to a bright future. His conclusion points to the fact that it's possible, and he also acknowledges the fact that without insurance, maybe the concept of sustainability will be challenged. So we have a critical role to play, and he has just made it clear. And where he sits, his words are very, very strong. So we can leverage on this to make ourselves more felt. A few comments in the next 6 minutes now. I have taken the one. You will put up your hand and the microphone will come to you. I've seen one where my colleagues to run around. 2. Okay, 3. And 4.
Thank you very much, Professor, and congratulations to you for that appointment. I'm called Bernardo Bell from IRA. I just wanted to highlight that the question of insurance, people taking insurance as being a loss, is being addressed through what we call TACAFU. You know, with TACAFU, you share the profits eventually. And as we are speaking now, we've got a company that has come. They will make close to 60% of the requirements. And maybe in the next 4 months, we shall have a TACAFU operator. But the challenge is with the players in the market is that they have a window to do TACAFU, and I think they are not taking up TACAFU insurance, and I would really urge players to take up TACAFU insurance, and also for the banks to introduce Sharia compliant investments such that when these banks, these TACAFU operators come, they can know where to place their funds. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Professor, for that discussion and triggering a lot of thought. My name is 𝐂𝐄𝐎'𝐒. I'm an insurance broker. I was excited when the professor touched the point of government insurance, or government insuring their properties. And what I'm concerned about, which is something we should work about or look around, there was a report by the Auditor General who advised government that they shouldn't insure, and his argument was that the cost of insurance is higher than the claims they get. It is a big concern, and maybe now that Professor sits where he sits, we should work with him and our regulator and reverse some of those negative recommendations. I think we need to look at that. It's a whole report by the Auditor General. Whenever you talk to any government person, he tells you, but our advisor has said we shouldn't insure. I don't know what statistics he worked with. We need to reverse that. Thank you very much.
We can take 3 others because Alhaji has to say something. He has a special request, Professor, I know. He has been imagining they could clearly see. Can you imagine? Okay, let's be brief.
Yeah, thank you, Professor. My only concern is how we report insurance contribution. Because insurance has both direct and indirect contribution. And the biggest use of insurance contribution is indirect. Because every business, every service thrives on insurance. But all that, no one says it. So I think, I don't know what the regulator will do or whoever, we need to also pick that indirect contribution of insurance to the economy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. Yes, indeed, imagination, as they say, is more important than education. So the more we imagine, the better we reflect, and indeed we've taken that message amongst many other things. The wisdom we've given us this morning. Mine is, you say you don't have a big voice. Let me tell you, first of all, congratulations. In my circles, when you were appointed, if you the governor, sorry, we would have wanted you governor. Sorry, nothing against the boss. Seriously, I think so many people say, wow. I think for many officers in the country, that's one of those that is going to be the very best person in the country to do the job. So very well done and congratulations. Now, mine is to ask you, Jordan, you remember recently I wrote an email on the entire EC and the CEOs in this room, speaking again about government insurance of their assets and employees. Government is the biggest owner of property. Government is the biggest employer in the country. We can't allow house girls to beat us indeed. So how to end that $500 billion economy, we want to play a key role in providing risk in the business and investments. We appeal for your kind support. I know I've had you speak to you closely. We need you as an industry. We need you. We ask for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alan. Now there is one elder whom I may have. I may get problems if I don't. Gary, in less than a minute, then the microphone comes back this side.
Don't like the phrase elder. Kijana hapana mzee. Professor, thank you. I was in Mbarara most of this week. Two beautiful buildings in Mbarara. One of them is the central bank. The other is a church. The similarities are interesting. I went to the IRA office, spent 2 hours with the IRA staff. Wonderful. All of these fabulous issues you've raised, they were hugely interested to see how we increase sensitization, reduce complaints, etc., etc. I went to your beautiful offices in Mbarara. No one would talk to me. I went back in the afternoon. Nobody was there. So hundreds of people work at the central bank. They're not interested in insurance. So my question to you, sir, building on what Alan said, what are you now going to do for us? Instead of telling us what we should do for you. Thank you.
Yes, that's a question for Professor to reflect on, and I'm sure he can do a lot for us. As the microphone comes back this side, I want to make some announcement. Insurance Brokers Association of Uganda is having a conference, and the conference convener is here. Edward, stand up. I want to give you a platform after the meeting for people to come to you, and maybe also to tap into Professor. He has a lot of wisdom, and I think we can tap into his resource and have more time to discuss. So you could probably get him after this meeting. Alhaji, you gave me very tight timelines. It is now 5 minutes. But as you come, Alhaji, Jonathan, under 1 minute, you are now in Alhaji's time to say what you want to say, and you know what it means if you...
That's a dangerous spot to be in. Number one, just for clarity, this initiative is funded by African Foundation. I thought we would acknowledge that. Secondly, the UIA is not working alone. We have a technical working committee. This is an industry initiative. IRA is on the committee, IBAO is on the committee, ITC is on the committee, and the rest of the industry bodies. Number three, way forward. We hope to come up with a document. That document is going to be referred to as the Insurance Literacy and the Market Involvement Agenda, which will come up with interventions. The research has been conducted. We need interventions. One of those is the stakeholder engagements. Those are going to come into that document, and we will invite you again to present that document before you as we embark on that journey. Number four, Mr. African, you know that the
Uganda Insurance Association has responded to that call. We have launched a TTC study, total tax contribution and wider economic impact study of the insurance industry. The members of the UIA, we are into the second study, and I urge members to provide that information because it supports us beyond the penetration rate of insurance. We talk about taxes, we talk about the claims, we talk about employment, we talk about that other side of the contribution that insurance makes. Alhaji, you can now take over. But the MD of the bank that is now in the garages is here, Mr. David Wandera from ABSA. We must recognize him for doing very well. My former sponsor.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, the Deputy Governor, Professor, for the work you did. And we want to thank Africa 𝐕, working with UIA and everybody. Indeed, the findings are the obvious. We know them. So, I don't know to what extent should we wait to be told to do what we know. And we have had this discussion for many, many years. But we don't act, unfortunately. If we are not going to act, then we do not expect to change. And we blame ourselves for the losses or whatever will be missing out. They talked of the agents, the way they look and things like that. I know someone whispered to me that an agent came to him when he was looking so miserable that he couldn't even trust that agent with his money. Now you can imagine someone works with us, but he cannot do that. So we must work on changing the entire way we do business if we are to move to the next level. The other issue is the NHIS. For sure, if the National Health Insurance Scheme could come on board today, our penetration levels could go up to 5%. But maybe Professor will need to talk. Even where you know it has moved backwards. We are now at cabinet. Even cabinet approving the principles so that we can move to the next level is still a challenge. But we are still talking and lobbying His Excellency and others. Government insurance. I know we are the government now. The good thing, Professor, has also come to the side of government. That was the challenge you had before, that you talk about insurance and very many people didn't believe that insurance was critical and was necessary. But now, since I have the Deputy Governor, I know we have mobilized some other colleagues, and we are doing a study, again with the support from Africa 𝐕, on what is the benefit of insurance, of government insuring its assets. So when that is done and we lobby, we can move to many miles. I had my colleague Africa 𝐕 saying the direct benefits. Now, the former president of Uganda said, Idi Amin Dada, if you go into the real and you're not so sure that the empire will be on your side, please do a knockout. Don't go into the indirect or whatever. Let's do the big ones so that everybody can know that we are the big boys. I know in the last engagement we had with Professor, he had expressed his desire to be the ambassador of insurance. May I take this singular honor to confirm that ambassadorship of insurance, Professor Augustus. Thank you very much for listening to me, and we look forward to getting the document which Jonah has promised us so that we can action on it. Thank you very much. I declare the CEO breakfast meeting closed. Thank you.
Let's just go now before they go out.